Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. It has been a really busy day. Not in a bad way, just really busy. I've been just gone most of the day, dealing with community things, meeting with people, and just, man, swamped. And I did a podcast earlier today. I did have time to wiggle that in. I haven't got it uploaded yet. I'll get it here later as soon as I get back home, but you should probably go check that one out when I get it uploaded. You can listen to my podcast on most platforms that host podcasts. It's the Prepared Homestead podcast. Because I've been so busy, I didn't really have time to do any show prep for it. It's just, I open my mouth and what comes out is pretty much what you're going to hear, which is kind of what this video is the same way. My goodness. It's hard to... It's hard to do the things that we are doing, and I know that many of you are doing, trying to circle the wagons and tune out all of this evilness in the world, and to tune out all of this craziness and lies and the deceptions and just the collapse in general. It's hard to tune that out and focus on your family, your community, your soul, your personal life, your walk with the Father, and yet still kind of be in tuned enough with everything to know what's going on, so that you've got a kind of a figuring out where we're at and how much longer we have. It's tough because I think, at least for me and for most of the people I talk to, is seeing all this stuff happen. I mean, there's a bit of mourning, a bit of heartbreak. I've talked about that before, but really, most of it is just absolute. It's despicable. It's disgust that we see that what's going on in the world from many different angles. The moral stuff, the spiritual stuff, which those are very tightly intertwined. The physical stuff, just the destruction of our civilization. The destruction of everything that has just been the way it has been for so long. They're completely destroying that and flipping it upside down. The deceit and the lies that we're being told, that nobody believes most of this stuff. I mean, you have to be pretty ignorant to believe the garbage that comes out of the mouths of these people that are running the show. And it's tough to keep our minds in a place that we keep moving forward. We're not at a point where we just cut ourselves off from the world and say we're done. We're going in our bunkers. Some people already have, and I honestly, I can't blame them. I mean, maybe it's a little early to do that, but I can't blame them. I mean, when you look at how insane things are, my goodness. I mean, we're at war. We should absolutely, I believe, acknowledge that. I mean, we're not quite at a war yet where there's bullets and bombs flying. I mean, some parts of the world, certainly there is. But I'm talking about most you and I. We're not at that level of war yet, but it is certainly a war. I mean, we've got a real conventional war going on that we're doing all the funding of it. We're sending all the stuff over there to the meat grinder, and that's pretty much all it is. But it's bigger than that. I mean, we got a war going on with an invasion in our country, where tens of thousands of people a week are coming into this country, and they're just releasing them. I just saw a thing earlier today that they released 75,000 of them, that they had come across the border, and they were in one of those little temporary holding facility kind of thing, and then they've released 75,000 of them. Into the country. That's probably a couple of weeks, week and a half worth of people, and this is going on a regular basis. That's an absolute invasion, and I don't care. You can sit here and argue and troll the channel all you want about how these are good people just coming here to just get a good life. Maybe most of them are. I mean, I would even acknowledge that probably most of them aren't coming here necessarily with ill intent. Probably more than we think, but not all of them. But it doesn't matter. It's still an invasion. That's a war right there. We are at war with all of these elites and these demonic evil people that are trying to destroy everything that we hold true. We're at war when it comes to moral issues, to our value system, our beliefs, our spiritual beliefs, our Bible, our God, our family, how we raise our children. We're at war with that. We're at war with our individual rights. The things that for many, many decades, for centuries, have been believed that these are inalienable rights. These are rights given to us by God Almighty, the Creator. They cannot be taken by any legitimate legal means. But yet they're doing it on a constant basis. And they're talking about and boasting about how they want to do it more, how they want to censor your speech, and how they want to take your guns away. And eventually they're going to devalue the only thing that you have of currency, of money systems, so that they can control that too. That's coming sooner than we think. We're at war on so many levels. And I think there's just still so many people that just don't see it. They see that these things are happening, and they acknowledge they're getting worse. And they keep thinking probably to themselves that, well, it's going to get to that point that we're at war. It's going to get to the point where it's bad. It's going to get to the point where the violence is just everywhere. Well, it already is, folks. Just because it's not in your backyard doesn't mean it's not happening. And they don't acknowledge that we're in that right now. It may sort of be still the early stages, but we're in that. We're in a war on our health with the garbage that they're putting in people's bodies. We're in a war with our privacy. We're in a war with what they want to do and spread disease everywhere, and then claim that, if you take this little serum that we created and put it in your body, it'll be great. We're at war on so many levels. The whore of Babylon has risen, I believe. And these elites are drinking from her cup, and boy, are they getting drunk. And I think it's time that we acknowledge these things. Is there any hope for us? Maybe. Maybe it's possible. I'm not saying that it is at all hopeless and it's just done and everything, but I think it's getting there. If we're not there already, we're definitely getting to that point really soon. They're talking about all the AI stuff. I saw that the CIA is, doing a new artificial intelligence program with all the intelligence agencies that will monitor everything that you do. They'll monitor it, they'll censor it, all that kind of stuff. They'll take it and they'll compile all this data that they have on you. Probably all the stuff that Facebook gave them, so that they can keep track of it. So they're going to use AI for that. The Pentagon is using AI to censor your speech online. All of this is happening at such a rapid pace. This is the new normal they talked about. They told us that for the last few years. It's a new normal. Oh, no, we're not going back to the old ways. Remember all that stuff 3 years ago? So many people laughed, said it was a conspiracy theory. Well, here we are, folks. Welcome to the new normal. Welcome to the reset. It is happening. It's not a thing that they're going to do. It's not a thing that it might someday happen. Maybe we'll have a great reset. The reset is going on. It's ongoing. It's why we're seeing all of this stuff happen. It's why we're seeing massive migration all over the world. It's why we're seeing the battle drums of climate change and how we have to restrict everything and tax you to death on a global taxation is becoming louder and louder. It's why we're watching the very moral fabric of our society be destroyed, perverting the minds of children. Everything that virtually all of humanity has ever known to be true is being taken and flipped up on its head, and we're told that it's no longer the truth. It's no longer the norm, that now all of these things that every society from us and before have always said were taboos, that only the fringiest of parts of society that were outcasts did, and that they were frowned upon for doing, now is being done in the public square and in the White House lawn. and it's glorified, and we're encouraged to do it, and they're teaching it to our children. This is the world we live in. We have to realize that we are in a war. And at some point, that war will probably become kinetic, conventional. It probably will be, being bullets and bombs. But most definitely we're at a war, and we have to realize that, and we have to get into that mindset when it comes to our preparations, when it comes to our levels of readiness, when it comes to the seriousness and the dedication that we put into forming groups and getting out of Babylon, getting out of these cities of wickedness, and finding others, and building little places of refuge for the remnant, where we can circle our wagons and have at least a better chance of surviving all of this coming collapse, which is exactly what we're watching. We need to be doing this. It's something that's on my mind every day. And we have to be finding better ways of making it happen. Sometimes we have to think out of the box. That's what we do around here sometimes. Because we cannot allow ourselves to be consumed by this. We cannot allow ourselves to be drinking from that cup too. It's time to get our houses in order, folks. It's time to be preparing ourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.